Hey everybody, this is Michaela Manfredo here, and I am going to show you guys how to use the vocoder in Ableton Live 10 on a vocal track. So vocoding uses frequencies of one sound to modulate the frequencies and character of another, and the process requires two sound sources to work, a modulator and a carrier. So the modulator source is generally something with a clear rhythmic character, such as a vocal track or a drum rack. And the carrier is typically a harmonically rich synthesizer sound, such as a string or pad. So for example, traditional vocoders create the popularized singing synthesizer and other robotic voice effects. So what I'm going to show you in this example, this is a song that I was working on in my songwriting class this semester. So I am going to make it where the lead vocal in this song is going to sound kind of robotic. So this is what the original track sounds like.
Let comfort fall. We will step out and face the day. Let comfort fall and take a leap of faith. Shout the Lord's praise and let comfort fall.
Okay, so that's what the original track sounds like. And then down here, I just made, you can either make, if you already have a vocal track that you want to use, you can just duplicate it. So that's what I did down here. I just duplicated the vocal track, or you can take a preset vocal lead from one of your audio effects or the clips or samples, you know, wherever you get it from in Ableton. So you can either do that. What in this example, I'm using one that's already recorded. So what I'm going to show you is something that I already came up with earlier on, and then we'll get into how I did it. So this is what it sounds like with the vocoder on the vocal track. We will step out and face the day. Let comfort fall and take a leap of faith. Shout the Lord's praise and let comfort fall. Okay, so definitely produces a very gnarly robotic sound, which is amazing. So now I'm going to show you how I did it. So as I already said earlier, I just duplicated the vocal track and I just started on the chorus because it's one of the louder parts in the song, as you can tell. So now what we need to do, we need to make another MIDI track. So you can right click and insert MIDI track. And then what I did is I took piano chords that I already had up here from my main piano chords, and I put another track down here. So you can either do that, or if you have a MIDI keyboard that you can plug into your laptop, you can just play some MIDI notes and just record it straight in, or you can go in here and make another MIDI track just by writing the MIDI notes in manually. But to make it a little bit easier and to save a little bit of time, what I'm going to do is just copy these notes and then go in here and just copy those in there. I'm going to need to make the track a little bit longer. Oop, my bad, I need to do it down here. There we go. So now what I need to do is just zoom in on here and then expand this track so that way it's actually shown. Let me just go in here and expand the track. So after you have all of your MIDI notes in here, so there we go, and I'm going to zoom out. So now we have our MIDI notes ready and we have our MIDI track. So now what you're going to do is take an instrument lead from your instrument track. So you can choose any one. What I did is I went to the instrument rack. I wanted to use some sort of synth or piano lead. So I chose synth lead, and I'm just gonna choose a random one. I'm gonna choose At Your Door lead. So that's a pretty cool sound. So now I'm going to drag it onto the MIDI. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you go onto your vocal melody. You go onto your vocal track, and I already added the vocoder on, so to get to it, you just go to, you can just look it up too. So vocoder, and then vocoder is in the audio effects. So you can just click on audio effects, vocoder. You can either drag the whole vocoder onto your vocal track, or you can expand it and choose a specific one. So for me, I chose the Format +5 just to see what it sounded like, if it sounded different. I just wanted to experiment. So now what you're going to do, so you have your carrier and your audio from. So for your carrier, it's going to start on noise. So what you're going to want to do is to choose external. And then for the audio from, you're wanting to be able to choose your synth track. So I'm not going to use the carrier one. I want to use the At Your Door. So I'm going to choose At Your Door lead. I'm going to keep this on post FX. And then let's just play it and see what it sounds like. We will step out and face the day. Let comfort fall and take a leap of faith. Shout the Lord's praise and let comfort fall. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool. One thing that I didn't mention earlier was that when you're writing in your MIDI notes, they don't all have to be chords. You can actually go into your MIDI, and if you want some of them to just be single notes, so like let's say I delete, a few of these, a few of that, let's delete some of those, yada yada, let's delete those. And then it'll have just a specific note rather than a chord. However, it does sound a little bit better when you use chords, but when you do use one note, it does give it some texture. So let's see what it sounds like now. We will step out and face the day. Let comfort fall and take a leap of faith. Shout the Lord's praise and let comfort fall. Yeah, so for the vocoder, that's pretty much everything that you need to know for the basics. If you're wanting to explore more with the depth and attack and release, that's kind of your way of your creativity, just experimenting with it and seeing what sounds best to you. But yeah, so that's how you use the vocoder in Ableton, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.